Have you ever been puzzled by a piece of code that just doesn't seem to behave as expected? It can be really frustrating, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a tricky question about string returns in try and finally blocks in Java. I totally get it. It's annoying when you think you understand how something works, only to be thrown off by unexpected behavior. You're not alone in this confusion. Many developers face similar challenges when dealing with try-catch-finally blocks. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. A user asked, "Why does my Java method return the value from the try block even after modifying the string in the finally block?" They provided a code snippet that seems to contradict their expectations. Sound familiar? Let's break it down together. So what's happening here? In Java, when a return statement is executed in a try block, the method prepares to return that value. However, the finally block always executes after the try and catch blocks, regardless of whether an exception was thrown or not. This can lead to some surprising results. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a pro tip on how to avoid confusion with try-catch-finally blocks in your own code. To understand the output of this program, let's first look at the try block. The user assigns a string to the variable s and then returns it. Next, it's important to note that when a return statement is executed in the try block, the method prepares to return the value. However, before the method actually returns, the finally block is executed. Even though the finally block modifies the value of s, the method will still return the value that was prepared in the try block. This is why the output remains as return value from try block. In summary, the user should remember that the return value from the try block takes precedence over any modifications made in the finally block. Fun fact: did you know that the finally block is like that friend who always shows up, no matter what? Whether you're having a good time or a bad time, they're there to make sure everything wraps up nicely. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user explains how Java manages method calls and return values. When a method is called, Java creates a record in the stack that includes the return value. In the try block, the return value is set, but when the finally block executes, it modifies the string reference without changing the return value field. Therefore, the method returns the value from the try block unless the finally block also has a return statement. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. This user suggests avoiding return statements in the try block when a finally block is present. Instead, they recommend placing the return statement at the end of the method. They also note that you cannot modify the value of the return variable in the finally block. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. This user explains that the finally block in a try-catch statement is always executed, regardless of whether an exception occurs. They illustrate this with a code example where a lock is used. The finally block ensures that the lock is released, demonstrating its reliability in resource management. Here's the pro tip I promised. Always remember that the finally block executes after the try and catch blocks, regardless of whether an exception occurred. This can help you avoid unexpected behavior in your code. And there you have it. Now you understand why the output is what it is. Remember, understanding how try-catch-finally works can save you from a lot of headaches. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for more coding tips, and don't miss our next video where we tackle more Java mysteries.